And we are back with some more legacy support coming out of the original dual monsters. This one for Bandit Keith, and specifically revolving around his card Metalmorph, which turns monsters into machine metal versions of themselves. So I'm going to start off going off the retrain of Metalmorph. So this is Enhanced Reflection Armor or Enhanced Metalmorph, which is probably what it'll be called in the TCG. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Activate this card by attributing a face-up monster. Special summon one monster that cannot be normal summoned or set and mentions Enhanced Metalmorph from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then you can equip this card to it as an equip card with this effect. The equipped monster gains 400 attack and defense. Your opponent cannot target it with monster and spell effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by monster and spell effects. So this is going to be able to go into basically what I assume is the boss monsters of the deck. And it also captures that effect that machine monsters had during Duel's Kingdom, where they were unaffected by magic effects. And I talked about that in my craziest moves from Duel's Kingdom video, which you can check out here. But basically, monsters in Duel's Kingdom were unaffected by magic, and so they're capturing that by making monsters that are equipped with this card unaffected by spells, as well as monster effects, just to keep it somewhat competitive in today's day and age. So that is the retrain of Metalmorph. Now let's go through the rest of the cards, starting off with Red Eyes, Black Full Metal Alchemist. Okay, that's Full Metal Dragon. This cannot be normal summon or set, so that's going to be one of those targets for the Enhanced Metalmorph. Must first be special summon with Enhanced Metalmorph by attributing a level 5 or higher dragon monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, set one Metalmorph trap directly from your deck, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. B, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can negate the activation, then you can inflict damage to them equal to the original attack of one of their attack position monsters. So as is the case for most archetypes nowadays, you have a Searcher and an Omni Negator, and this actually happens to be both of them. So it can grab you your Metalmorph, and then it can also serve as the Omni Negate for the archetype. Next up is Metal Zoa X. Cannot be normal summon set, so again, another target for Enhanced Metalmorph, which is special summoned by attributing a level 5 or higher Fiend monster. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, set one Metalmorph trap directly from your deck, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck, so similar effect to Red Eyes. Up to twice per turn when your opponent activates a spell card or effect or a monster effect, you can target one face-up monster they control and destroy it. So again, playing to this idea that machines in Duel's Kingdom reflect off magic-like effects, so in this case, spell cards and monster effects, being able to target and destroy a face-up monster they control. And again, another way to search out not just the Enhanced Metalmorph, but any of the Metalmorph traps. Next up is Fiend Beast Zoa. So this is going to be one of those Fiend monsters that you contribute for Metal Zoa X, and aptly so because it is Zoa. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn. If your opponent controls a monster, you can normal summon this card without attributing, so that's pretty good with 2600 attack. If this card is in your hand, you can special summon it in defense position. Then, if you do not have Enhanced Metalmorph in your grave, your opponent can special summon one monster from their hand. So two ways to get it out pretty quickly. And if you already have, starting the mid or end game, Enhanced Metalmorph in your graveyard, then you don't have to worry about the drawback. And then finally, during your rain phase, you can set one Metalmorph trap directly from your deck. So that's really good. It's if you go second, or even if you go first, you can special summon it, and if your opponent doesn't have a monster, maybe they special summon a monster from hand, maybe they don't have one. But then you can immediately set your Enhanced Metalmorph, and immediately during your opponent's turn, go into Metal Zoa X. And then finally for the monsters is Metal Copycat. So another Joey you retrain, but being brought into the Bandit Keith fold. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal special summon, you can set one Metalmorph trap directly from your deck. Then if you have an Enhanced Metalmorph in your grave, you can draw one card. So this is again going to be a quick way to get your Metalmorph moves going. This card's level is increased by 4 during your opponent's turn, so that's going to bring it up to level 5, which when you pair it with the final effect, you can declare one monster type. This card's type becomes that type until the end of your opponent's turn. It's going to allow you to combo it with Enhanced Metalmorph to be able to declare, in this case, Dragon or Fiend, to be able to use Enhanced Metalmorph to bring out either one of the Full Metal Dragon or the Metal Zoa X. So, pretty streamlined ways of going about searching out the Enhanced Metalmorph, getting out the monsters that you need to be able to tribute for Enhanced Metalmorph to then bring out either the Omni Negator or the guy who pops things. Now, for the spell of the deck, this is The searcher, you add one monster that mentions enhanced Metamorph or one Metamorph trap from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So that's going to be basically everything that we've just looked at. And if you control a Metamorph trap, you can banish this card from your grave, then target one opponent's defense position monster and change it to attack position. So referencing when, and you see it in the art, when Bandit Keith used stop defense to turn Joey's monsters into attack position. And then finally, we have Time Engine, so the retrain of Time Machine and referenced in the artwork as well. If a monster, and this card is treated as a Metamorph card, so it's going to be able to be set by the, and searched by the cards that are able to search Metamorph traps. So if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, target one of them special summon it. Then if it is a level 5 or higher machine monster and you have another Metamorph trap on your field or in your grave, you can destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then inflict damage to them equal to the summon monster's original attack. So that's pretty good. You'll likely have a Metamorph trap on your field or in your grave at various points throughout the duel when using this deck. So able to wipe the board of your opponent's monsters and bring back whatever you lost by battle or card effect. So that is it for the Metamorph cards. It's just 7 cards, I believe. And I don't know. Like I said, as I was going through some of the effects, it seems a bit uninspired. Nothing that really jumps out as unique about this deck. It's really mostly just here for calling back references to the manga, which is fine. Coming from me, I love me some nostalgia, but I feel like they could have done a lot more with this deck. And especially because just a few years ago, they started in a different direction with Bandit Keith support. They had the likes of Desperado Battlelord Dragon and Heavy Metal Raiders, which seem primed to set up for more retrains of Bandit Keith cards like Slot Machine and Space Megatron and others. So it just seems odd that they got away from all that and decided to create another Bandit Keith archetype instead of looping in Metamorph into all that already existed and doing more retrains. But that's just one person's opinion. You can check out my full showcase of Bandit Keith support from a couple of months ago, which did build on the Heavy Metal Raiders aspect of it. But again, to each his own. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.